There, and it's not uncommon for one of my students to walk in and just say something about a nappy-headed hoe, like nobody would even blink an eye. Right. The girls wouldn't be mad, the boys wouldn't be mad. They look at us like we were crazy if we were like, don't disrespect each other like that, because that's what they see on the media. So I'm not blaming hip-hop, but at the same time, we need to take ownership of our community. If we're letting our young men and women walk around talking about each other, nappy-headed hoes, then how can we get mad at some white man for doing the same thing?
I've had the same experiences where it's acceptable to call your homegirl B. Right. And that's just fine because that's a word of endearment, similar to like how the whole situation about the N-word and how it's acceptable.
And I feel like that the media has made it like it's our fault that this man said this, or it's our fault that we're being projected this way. And I think we need to take ownership in what is true and what we really are. In order for them not to be able to say those things. I feel like that the society wants to be us so bad that they can't do anything but put us down.
We really have to ask some hard questions in terms of what young men are being initiated into, the kinds of paradigms of masculinity that they are learning and internalizing and acting out, not only on young women in terms of language that is sexually assaulting, behavior that's sexually assaulting, but also in terms of the way that they engage with themselves. The way that homicide, for example, is the #1 killer of young African American men. The fact that so many young African American men suffer from gunshot wounds, are in and out of prison because they are not they are not respecting and valuing themselves. So I think we have to look at, yes, white supremacy, the degree to which hip-hop is a global phenomenon, the degree to which it's predicated upon a whole trajectory of exploitation of African-American productive labor, cultural production. But we also have to ask hard questions about the tenor of black patriarchy in our communities and the degree to which we have really retreated from the black feminist legacy, or black womanist, if you will, legacy that we forged in this community since its inception. And again, I think that media literacy is really the linchpin here.
And I'm here basically for validation. I feel on a regular basis that I'm thinking all of these things and all of you have said all by myself. So it's great to be in a room where someone else said like-minded people, women. And I stand in front of my classrooms thinking a lot of these things and trying to figure out ways I can encourage the women of color and educate my classes on some of these issues without putting them off, without them seeing me as someone who has an agenda or has a bias, but just to encourage and motivate and empower my students.
What Don Imus said was actually like an assault on black women. And it's just an example of media-sanctioned hostility towards black women. It's the same thing with the Duke situation, and it's also the same thing with media like R. Kelly, and nobody talks about these things. Right. But I'm really happy to be here, to be part of this community. I'm glad that we are here.
When this Caucasian man has said something about black women, and the lack of us bringing that same fire and intensity when people who look like us say the same things about us every day in music and call it entertainment and art.
Whatever's on the radio, that is not the black man that I know in my life. And that's bull. That is not the real black man. That's not, it's for anyone to try to use that as an excuse to say, well, black men call black women that. No. That's not no man that calls. To me, that ain't a man. And to me, it is the commercialization of hip hop. That is what the capitalist white system puts out there. That is not what real hip hop is, and that is not what real black culture is. So I don't believe that.
What happened behind the scenes of the Michael Jackson trial was just as interesting as the trial itself.
A lot of stuff is going on at this point.
This is his darkest hour. We're here for him. We love him. We support him 1,000,000%. Michael's innocent.
Most of the evidence that I've seen that he's guilty of sin.
Michael Jackson pretty much is exactly what I thought he would look like. I think Michael Jackson looks like Speed Racer.
I think Pump Netting is the devil.
Put your hands up, Michael Jackson!
I'm Ethan Pond's sister.
Jesus is no homo!
Lots and lots of girly magazines. The father, Joe Jackson, shoots couples. I want to talk about this mama. Diane Diamond gets her butt up in the mix.
I think he's very misunderstood. Very misunderstood. Very misunderstood.
Peace out.
Behind the scenes at the Michael Jackson trial. Available at Amazon.com.
Making a difference in the way you look and feel is business at La Skintique in Englewood. We offer several types of facials, hair care, and E-New rejuvenating cleanser, toner, and moisturizing cream for skincare that enhances ageless beauty. La Skintique, the day spa of your favorite celebrities. Call La Skintique at 310-337-9555.